the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Loaded over the next 3 hours today on the program. We have Brett McMurphy, Action Network, talking college football in 1 hour. Adam Chernoff in 90 minutes, hitting the NFL card in Week 8, which we'll get to throughout the next 3 hours, obviously. And Mike Somich, VSiN host, with his best bets as well. We have player props to get into. We have a big NBA card tonight. We have Game 1 of the World Series beginning. And I think this is absolutely fascinating, what's going on overall in Los Angeles tonight alone. So not only do you have this game, and we talked about this yesterday, how long would it take you to get from Dodger Stadium to the Coliseum if you stayed for the entire baseball game to try to catch USC and Rutgers, which starts at 8 o'clock Pacific time tonight? That game is going on. There is a Lakers game tonight against the Suns.
Good game.
How about the East LA Classic at SoFi Stadium? And then 2 concerts as well, at the Forum and at the Intuit Dome. All happening tonight around the same time in Los Angeles.
I hear the Forum's a great place to check out a concert now, and it looks like it too. So I love the area and love visiting there, but it's always annoying just because
It's amazing.
My ex is from Long Beach. It's always gridlock. And I'm like, how did you live here? And she owned a successful business, and I was just like, she's like, well, it's just a way of life. I go, I can't take it. I've been here for a weekend. It's like Saturday afternoon, gridlock. Saturday night, gridlock. It doesn't matter.
This is no joke. We went like 8 months in a row where we would drive there at least once a month. This is before the wedding. We're looking at spots in Southern California, so we'd spend the whole weekend or maybe I took some days off before. It was a Wednesday night at almost midnight, and it's just bumper to bumper the whole time. And I'm like, okay, this tells me now it can honestly happen at any time during any day.
Yeah. Malibu's good. The traffic's okay.
It's fine. Yeah,
I got to get you a gift for the wedding. But that's it's a great. I love
15
that.
15 years ago.
I love that spot too. It's awesome. So I haven't been this excited in a long time. I mean, for Ohtani against Judge, and the sun's going to be setting out there. They're doing the pregame. They got the sunglasses on. It reminds me of '88 with the A's, and I think Canseco hit a grand slam in the first game. But Kirk Gibson and that, it's just L.A., New York, and Ohtani and Judge, and the excitement when Derek Stevens was in studio about what the book's filling up already. You see the Dodger fans here already. This is a Dodger town, Laker town as well. I can't wait for this tonight, Game 1, and hopefully we get a long competitive series.
Okay, so you made the case, and you already bet the Dodgers in the series around minus 130. I was reading a couple of different breakdowns today on vsin.com. Great analysis as always. I looked at Dave Tooley and his breakdown, and he basically said you need to bet the over in every game until the books seriously adjust.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that, and I did. Yeah. Game 1, I have bet over 8.5. I laid 122 with that price.
Let me tell you something, my friend. If there's ever a time you're going to bet a Yurfie, this is the game to do it as well. Dodgers pitchers have been horrendous in the first inning, and you couple that in with the fact that Torres, 8 of the 9 playoff games, he's reached base to start by walk or hit. I also bet Torres $1.30 to have a single. So with this guy, between him and Soto...
If he's setting the table?
Oh, absolutely. He's doing it every game, right? And then Soto right behind him. Torres and Soto have reached base. They're 15 of 18 in the first inning, what they've done. And Torres is hitting 500 since in the first inning since August 16th, since being in the leadoff spot. So the chances that with all this firepower and Torres sets the table, Soto moves him up or gets him in, and then you got Stanton and Judge to worry about. I think that's a great bet.
I have everything to believe that this hot streak from Juan Soto is only going to continue, right? He was blazing hot in the ALCS. He hit 3 home runs there. If you go back, he's not even 26 years old yet. So you go back to the year 2019 when the Nationals made the World Series and they won it. He hit .333 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs for the Nats. That was the 2019 World Series. So he's a big-time performer. He's got an unbelievable eye. He will either walk and get on, and his strike zone, by the way, it's almost like reaching Barry Bonds territory during his prime. If you put anything close to the plate, it was going bye-bye from Barry Bonds. If you get anything close to Juan Soto and he likes it, he's going to make hard contact with the ball.
Sure. I feel the same way about what Stanton's doing, who has the second highest OPS ever at Dodger Stadium.
Now, how about that?
I said he's locked in as well. So you can really dig deep and get hardcore with your breakdown in this series, too, in terms of what these guys are doing, bullpens, velocity, what's going on with Flaherty. And as we talked about with Susan Waldman and her partner, John Sterling, it's the best base running team against the worst base running team. And, quote, they run the bases like drunks. That might decide the World Series.
Imagine that.
The Yankees are so bad running the bases, and who doesn't go first to third? Who can't score on a base hit on second base and getting picked off and all this stuff?
Sure, and then you have Ohtani getting on, and what is he going to do, swipe second and third like it's no big deal?
It could be.
Every single time?
Yeah.
So, by the way, Stanton, again, he's got the second highest OPS at Dodger Stadium. Ohtani's fourth. Only 1 year for him, I get that. But Stanton, in his career, 10 home runs, 26 RBIs, and 25 games at the stadium.
Yeah.
So now how about this? Both will DH, obviously. The record for most home runs by a DH in a single World Series is 3. Ryan Klesko, 1995.
Ryan Klesko.
How about that? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I believe I had some of his baseball cards.
Yeah. Okay.
I probably played with him on some Nintendo games as well.
Yeah. I met him once.
Are you really?
At the Palms. He was dating Lisa Guerrero.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
that. Were you there? Yeah, right. I went when he was with the Braves. I sat in the bleachers at Wrigley Field, and they were calling him fat ass and everything.
Wow.
And Crisco. And
you bring it up to him?
They were all over him. I said I did. He remembered it.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I said I just went to a game. They're really on you. They're back then. He goes, yeah, they're tough. So how concerned are you with Flaherty's velocity?
I mean, is there not something to this?
That's big. I would definitely. The Dodgers are concerned about it. I would be too.
The average fastball velocity in his last start was down to 91.4 miles an hour, the lowest of the entire season. And by the way, he has had 2 bad starts and 1 good start so far in the postseason, 1 and 2 overall with a 7.04 ERA. Now, the good start was sandwiched in between 2 bad ones, but the last one, when he's throwing 91 on average, I mean, he was getting absolutely rocked the entire time, and I felt bad for the kid because Roberts wouldn't go to the bullpen. He wanted to save some arms there.
Yeah.
And he somehow had to get through 3 innings, and he had no chance, basically. In that start.
What if the Dodgers lose? Have you thought about that? Is that 12 straight playoff appearances, 11 division titles, 1 title? Some people say, COVID, what happened?
Yeah, sure.
So it's the Atlanta Braves all over again. 500 win seasons. You spent $1 billion in the offseason.
Right.
If you don't get it done, what is it? We do this again, right?
Well, if they don't win tonight, do you want to bet the Yankees to win the series? The winner of Game 1 has won 75 of the previous 119 World Series, 63%, and 23 of 29 in the current wild card era.
That's strong. I know. And right. So I think Game 1's big. You're right about that. I also think it's huge if the Yankees can get both Cole starts or start off with a win with Cole going.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know about Buehler. You don't know about these bullpen games, what they're going to do, Yamamoto. So it'd be enormous if they steal one in L.A. and with the 2-3-2 format. Absolutely. Well, that's shocking. 23 of the last 29 and going back in history too. So the pomp and circumstance here at the pinnacle with everything you have. I mean, it's the second time since 1988 that the MVPs are meeting. It's the first time since 1956 that the home run champs are meeting in the World Series, and it's the first time ever we're going to have 5 MVPs playing. The last time we had 4 was 1971.
Wow, strong.
This is nuts with the firepower.
Okay, you always make a case if you like who's throwing out the first pitch for the home team. Do you want?
Yeah.
Tonight, 2 guys are for the Dodgers, right? Former World Series MVP Steve Yeager and Oral Hershiser.
Yeah, 1988 was ridiculous. It was like Little League Baseball. The guy was pitching every single day. It's like, this isn't fair.
Couldn't touch him.
It's not fair. He's pitching every day. Right. No one could touch him. They won the World Series.
So I think it might be a little unfair to call a player of the caliber that Freddie Freeman has been in his career an X factor or a wild card, but I'm going to here because he did miss 2 games in the NLCS, games 4 and 6. Before that, he was in a 1-for-16 slump. Well, actually, that's where he's at right now. Yeah. How big was the layoff for his ankle injury?
Yeah.
Right? It's basically now been a full week. So what if Freddie Freeman is back to close, to 100%, and that slump goes away, and they were scoring a ton of runs without the guy's help anyway?
Right. That's big. Getting Cortez back is big. The Dodgers added 2 relievers because of the layoff, and now you make the World Series. One of them left-handed. which they desperately needed. So now the Dodgers are up to 7-8 relievers that they can trust. Huge if they're, how they're going to do this with the bullpen. So all that's important. And the other thing, I also think do you make the guy work? And that's the other thing why I'm concerned about Flaherty. The Yankees are disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
And their chase rate is the best in baseball. That's also something where the Yankees are going to have a big edge too, I think. But it's Fernando. They're going to honor him before the game with the tribute. All of this with the Yankees beating up on could be Cleveland, Kansas City, and a bad American League, and what the Dodgers had to go through. It's a pick'em series. It's awesome. It's everything you want from a bookmaker and for a bettor, with also these the star power and everything they're offering with the props.
You want to stay away from betting any Dodgers to hit a home run? Garrett Cole has faced 192 batters since September 1st, and he's only allowed one home run. Maybe betting players to steal a base for the Dodgers is a better idea, to your point about how they're the best base running team. Opponents are 16 for 18 in stolen base attempts off Cole this season. That's full, regular season and postseason.
That's good.
Dodgers postseason, 11 out of 12.
And they're a big price to have more stolen bases in the series. Yeah, that's good.
Well, what is Ohtani to lead the series?
I saw, Luke, did I see that right? He's $5 at DraftKings? I mean, that really opens it up for everything. That's too high. That's
sure,
especially as what he does with runners with bases empty.
I know.
So it really opens it up for other things.
By the way, don't scoff. I brought this up yesterday. Here are the official numbers for Jazz Chisholm in his career against the Dodgers. .316 average, 18 hits, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, 9 runs in 14 games plus 4 stolen bases. Been damn good.
Right.
We will get into a very busy Week 8 card in the National Football League coming up next.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Why? I think it's because a lot of these read option quarterbacks stink. I think you want Flacco starting for the Colts.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Diving into the slate this week in the National Football League. Full slate of games. No London game, though, unfortunately, right? Baltimore's playing at Cleveland. They are minus 8.5 at a lot of books. Some 8s out there. Total is 44.5. As we know, Pauly, very difficult to run on Baltimore, but you can throw on this team. They are allowing 287 yards passing per game, worst in the entire league. It's 327 over the last 3 games. They are 28th in DVOA against wide receiver 1. They allow 85 yards per game to the position, 54 yards to wide receiver 2s, and 40 yards per game to wide receiver 3s. They're also 29th versus tight ends, giving up 78 yards per game to the position, and 25th to running backs. The Ravens are dead last in 20-plus yard completions allowed, and they're taking on a Browns team now that will not have Deshaun Watson. So I brought that up with the tight ends, and I went back and looked last year when David Njoku played with Joe Flacco when he came in, because remember, Watson could never find Njoku. It was maddening. We yelled about it on the air like he's one of the best tight ends in football. Get him the ball. Watson wouldn't. Flacco came in. Njoku right away. 6 for 91, 2 touchdowns. 10 for 104, 1 touchdown. 9 for 44 in a score. 8 for 134. 7 for 93 in the playoffs. Recent tight ends against Baltimore, or on the year anyway, Cade Otton, 8 for 100. Zach Ertz, 4 for 68. Ferguson had 6 for 95. Brock Bowers, 9 for 98. Is Winston going to make... I know that we had a great breakdown from Paul Charchian yesterday. He thinks it's going to be Tillman who's going to be the guy against this Ravens defense. Why not Njoku?
Yep, I'm with you too. He had a ton of targets last week, and I took the Browns. A lot of these games are hold your nose.
Yeah.
Right? So I took the Browns. I think it'll look different. It'll feel different, and what they're going to do offensively. I played Henry under 96.5 rushing yards. Cleveland, I think, can contain him. What they've done, and no back gone for more than 67 yards. You mentioned the big plays that the defense is allowing. And could you get those chunk plays with Njoku or Tillman and what they can do in the passing game? So I also think it's a breath of fresh air, not only for the fans, but for the organization and the guys in that locker room now that it'll be Winston. And even though his ridiculous post-game tirade after what happened Sunday, I think Njoku over. They can hang in this game. They can be competitive, and they can contain Henry. It'll come down to Jackson to make some plays in the passing game, and it's a key. It's going to be one of these weeks where it's ugly dogs. I think it starts in this game.
What's the reaction if Cleveland wins this game?
Oh, God. Well, then it's what the hell are we doing? And it's maybe the O-line's just that bad, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, they're getting guys back.
I refuse to believe that. I just think it's going to look different. They're able to do something in the passing attack finally and actually convert some third downs and move the chains on a consistent, regular basis. So they shut down Chubb last week, but I think Chubb can give them a better performance as well. And it'll be maybe Lamar turns it over a couple times. You can't blow everybody out every week. Can't be even the 07 Patriots didn't do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Packers are playing in Jacksonville against the Jags. Mostly 4s out there. FanDuel's at 3.5 on the game. Total is 49 to 49.5. Jags are dead last in defensive EPA per dropback. Dead last in opposer passer rating and passing touchdowns allowed. Jordan Love, passing TD prop is 2.5. The over is plus 195. How do his receivers not absolutely go ballistic in this game against this Jacksonville defense?
This is something where you look at overs with all these props, especially with the wide receivers. 3-point move in the total. I hate that Jacksonville back-to-back London games, no bye. They have plenty of issues to begin with. So I'm with you. Green Bay and Love should go off. And again, the score was completely misleading. We've been over it. But what happened Sunday? They dominated Houston. They continue to be taking the ball away with the takeaways, although they were -3 in the Houston game. But what the defense does week in, week out, and I think that's going to happen here against Lawrence. So I think the Packers win and cover.
Yeah. Lawrence, by the way, for what it's worth, we know it hasn't been pretty, but in non-conference games, he's 3-12 straight up in ATS. And by the way, in those games, the average point spread was Jacksonville plus 3.6.
Yeah.
They're between plus 3.5 and 4 in this game today. 3-12 straight up and ATS. I mean, on paper, these two teams are not even close. Green Bay is one of the best, right? I mean, Green Bay is one of the best teams in the NFC, one of the best teams in the NFL, maybe top 5. That might be stretching it, but they're probably close. Jacksonville until last week when they finally showed some life, power ratings had them like in the bottom 5 of the league. So it's a road favorite. Teams in this spot had been doing well until last night. But Green Bay, obviously, this tough stretch of games coming up after this game, and they have 5 games already banked as wins. They watched the Vikings lose last night. So even though they lost to that team, maybe the wheels are starting to come off for Minnesota, and they realize that there's basically one team in front of them in that division. And I think a high seed is absolutely possible for Green Bay in the playoffs.
Yeah, I used to think it's a good move with the total as well. I think it'd be a high-scoring game.
So do I. How about the news?
Especially what Green Bay should do, yes?
How about the news? I brought up the Vikings. We got to touch on Darisaw for a second. He's out for the year officially. Are you serious? They're running a play, basically just kneel at the clock. What is going on in your own end zone? And one of the best offensive linemen in the entire league goes down. His teammates immediately to the knee around him like, oh my God, not Christian Darisaw. Out for the year.
Yep. I forgot that they've done this twice. We keep mentioning 2003 when they were 6-0, missed the playoffs and went 9-7, and it came down to the final play of the season. They allowed a touchdown. They also did it 2016. I don't recall that team at all. But so Minnesota fans know this. That is this going to be the 3rd time now they're going to start 5-0 and miss the playoffs entirely. That's you got to beat the Colts Sunday, and you're right. That's ridiculous. Just take a knee.
Take a knee.
Why would you do that? You're backed up like that. You run the ball and you lose a key line.
Oh, that's crushing.
Now the other thing is the Detroit thing's alive and well. Team's struggling after playing the Lions. And the other thing is many people are pointing out now Detroit is showing everyone the blueprint on how to beat this Minnesota defense, which maybe they're right. But the other frustrating thing is the injury report. Puka Nakua's prop was like 29.5.
Oh, my God.
And he's the go-to guy. He was hardly supposed to play. So the weapons that they had and what they were able to do with a little Puka, a little Cup, and Robinson, suddenly this Vikings defense looks fugazi. I can't believe it.
I got to tell you, that really chapped my ass last night. The whole time, right as the show started, they announced that Nakua was going to, at 1 o'clock Pacific time, Puka's going to play. Fine, that's okay. But they also announced they're not going to know until game time, like how the guy looked like Jerry Rice last night.
Right.
He was doubtful. My ass, he was doubtful.
Yeah.
He looked absolutely 100% ready to play in the game last night.
Well, then
just knock it off with the line.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I can't take it this year with the injury reports.
It's out of control. And the Ian Rappaport, he was only going to be involved maybe on some run plays and hardly involved in the offense, and that's why his prop was so low at 29.5. Yeah. And he goes over it right away.
He looked like the best player on the field last night.
Yes.
And like the healthiest player of all time. Doubtful. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Absolute joke last night. Colts are playing at the Texans. Let's see here. Texans down to 4.5 a lot of spots. Other spots have 5, total 45.5.
What is going on here? This line was 3 week 1 on the road. What is this?
Touch, 6.5 earlier this week?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. If they don't gash them on the ground and get right and look good offensively, then it's I would say it's panic time. The fact that they're just not that good. So I don't care who's out. I mean, you've only swept them once in your franchise history. Indy's on a 10-1-1 ATS run in Houston on the road, what they've done in Houston. But I just don't understand how you can – it's the same quarterback that you look what the line is week 1 and they're on the road, and then here it's got the 4.5 in this game, and it's nothing but Indy money, and the game's in Houston, and Houston's the better team. If it was Flacco, I could buy into it a little bit. But still, I have to take Houston in this game. And if they get me, they get me. But I trust Houston here. And the fact that maybe they're going with this 6-1 ATS run with the Colts.
Best in the league.
They should run all over them in this game. All over them, what they should do with this rushing attack. We should open things up for Stroud, and they should get that passing attack right, because you saw what Miami did going for 190 last week.
So here's what happened the first time they played. That was in week 1. Houston did outgain Indy. It was 417 to 303. But Indy averaged 7 yards per play. Houston only 5.5. Houston ran the ball right down their throats. Mixon had 159 in that game. They held the ball for exactly 40 minutes. They ran 76 plays. Indy only had the ball, so they only ran 43 plays.
It was the 2 fluke long bombs from Richardson.
Yeah.
Other than that, they did nothing.
Now, how about this? It's at VSiN.com. I also tweeted this out at Mitch Moss Radio. The numbers from Steve and AJ Mackin every week.
Uh-huh.
in the rematch here. The second time these two teams play. Last 15 times, 14-1 to the under.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
random. Very
awesome.
random, I get it, but I mean...
It's good. They got to get it done. You got to win this game.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I'm already trying to sound the alarms for Houston.
Sports Equinox upon us. All 4 major sports in action. No better time of the year to be a sports bettor and become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Full VSiN Pro access to everything we do through May 1st for $120. Every best bet, every host, every guest. VSiN.com/subscribe. Less than $20 a month. Get it.
More NFL up next. They haven't been this big of a favorite in nearly 30 years. Find out which team next.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly, the Detroit Lions, one of the best teams in the National Football League, back-to-back years now. They have been also tremendous at covering spreads. If you go back to the year 2021, they are 20-7 ATS at home. They're also 40-16 ATS overall in that span. The combination of Goff at quarterback, Campbell at head coach has been a money-making machine for this team. Here's the rub Sunday as they take on the Titans, and they're laying 11.5 or 12 in this game. Total is 45. This is the biggest number the Lions have now been favored by since 1996, when they closed as a 12-point favorite against Tampa Bay in September of that year. Barry Sanders went hog wild.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
You're right. I believe it. Yep. I love that they keep bringing up to Campbell about this being a horrible spot, and we're well aware, and we're not gonna have a letdown. We're not gonna do it. They're saying all the right things.
Yeah.
It's a horrible spot. And again, here come your double-digit favorites, and here come your good teams against your bad teams now. And a friend of ours is top 15 in one of the contests, and he used Detroit. I said, "You sure you want to do that?" He goes, "We took it under consideration. We're well aware. But we think Detroit's going to get it done, and we'll see if Tennessee can do anything in the passing attack." You got Williams suspended, but if Ridley can't go over his prop in this game, I'm done. Like, who are you throwing to now with the Hopkins trade? He's 46.5.
Well, I think Adam Chernoff's going to be strong in this later on.
If he can't go over here, I mean, who are you going to, right? You got to look the part here. You got to get something going with the passing attack. In fact, you quit. They absolutely quit against Buffalo. It was a joke. And you were on that game. You have the nice lead early. You think, okay, Rudolph, a big upgrade over Levis. And then you get your ass kicked by more than 3 touchdowns.
Did you bet Ridley already?
Yeah. No good?
Comments like yesterday saying if he's open, we'll try to give him the ball, but we're not going to focus on it.
Well, he's a B.A. Baracus. He's also he's complaining a lot. And
oh yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, okay, but
you're exactly right.
Someone's got to catch the ball.
What's the game plan here then?
Yeah,
who are you going to go to?
He's been crying about not getting touches, and the comeback is you signed there, you wanted this, you got the money, but
right,
it's come on, you got to get this guy involved, and someone has got to catch the ball in what could be a blowout anyways, but. Horrible spot, and we'll see if Detroit, saying the right things, gets it done and takes out a horrible Tennessee team.
Here's why you're saying it's a horrible spot. Off the bye 2 weeks ago, they went to Dallas, put up one of the games of the year, 47-9, smoke show. They followed it up by going to Minnesota last week, 3-hour battle to the death, and they won it at the gun. So they played back-to-back games like that. And by the way, in the meantime, Jared Goff has been sensational. Again, this team has scored more offensive touchdowns than he has in completions last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then after this game against Tennessee, one of the worst teams currently speaking in football, they play at Green Bay. That is the difference. If this was a college team, would you be betting the favorite? We'd be talking about how this is a letdown spot, look-ahead spot for the college team for all week long.
You're right.
I wonder how popular they're going to be in Survivor.
Well, with the Thanksgiving angle, I don't think as popular as you think.
I don't think so either.
And also, you see how creative, that's unique some of these picks have been. Interesting.
That might be the correct word.
You're going to get some weird picks, rest assured, Saturday. Tune in, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific right here.
I hope to God nobody. Well, I still have one left, so maybe if anybody did. Nobody was on Minnesota last night, right?
They won't tell you.
I know they wouldn't, but they could not have been.
Scott Tribuco was using Detroit.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah.
It's not awful.
He said he's going to use Dallas on Thanksgiving.
That I don't know about.
Or maybe the Black Friday game. But that's how he's going to operate.
All right. Well,
good luck, Scott.
Yep. Falcons are at the Buccaneers. How is this not if you think that game needs to be Calvin Ridley because you have nobody else,
right?
How is this not a Jalen McMillan game for the Buccaneers?
No, Otten.
Oh, that too.
Otten's going to go off.
So it's going to be Otten and Rashad White and not Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
See, I already bet McMillan.
Well, you might be right. I don't know, but I'm off him. I'm done because I've lost 3 times with the guy with his props. Haven't got there. Yeah, we got shenanigans again. 2 days ago, Irving was supposed to be out. Now he's going to play. So what's going on with Tampa? But it's a big opportunity here for the Falcons, where you have these guys down, and you can go 4-0 in the division. You can sweep Tampa Bay. It's essentially over if you win this game.
Oh, I didn't realize that. If they win this game, they're 4-0 against division foes.
Yeah.
Oh, massive.
You have everything now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there for you. So you get the broom out on Tampa, all their injuries, and even though you look pathetic and lost at home with your easy schedule the rest of the way, and Tampa being down, remember, Tampa follows this up with Kansas City and San Francisco. So with all the injuries the Saints have, Carolina should be relegated. It's right here for Atlanta, and that's why they're a $1.60 favorite to win the division. We've seen a 5-point move with the injuries.
I brought up McMillan because, again, they just played like 3 weeks ago, and it was a shootout. Buccaneers should have won the game. It went to overtime. Cousins had more than 500 yards. But in that game, Godwin, 5 for 64. Evans had 5 for 62 and a couple of touchdowns. So it was a pretty heavy wide receiver game overall based on – because Mayfield didn't go nuts in the game. In fact, I don't even know if he had 200 yards passing, if I recall correctly. I'm not Paul Bovey with the photographic memory when I look at the box score one time. But they had a majority of the yards in that game. So I'm thinking, okay, well, they're both out. McMillan obviously was a pretty high draft pick. He showed flashes early on in the season. That makes some sense to me. I played the 50-plus yards on him at like plus 122. I was also looking for receptions, but books have been really slow to post on his props overall.
Do you agree with the under movement? I mean, I still think with these bad defenses, and Atlanta can't put any pressure on the quarterback.
I think Atlanta's defense is terrible.
Yeah, and Tampa's off, so they can't stop anything either. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get up and over the total here. But there was a good nugget on ESPN.com. Tampa's allowing 5.4 yards per carry outside zone rushes. It's atrocious. And Atlanta's number one at that.
Bijan looks awesome.
Right. Now, is it all him, or you want to go...
No.
You want to play both guys over like the Carolina game?
What's Algiers' number?
They're 30-ish.
Oh, that's
36.
Oh, that's doable.
Robinson's 63.5.
Oh.
They could just run the ball all over him in this game. And then also Tampa's playing catch-up. So all these guys are... Otten's 44.5. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Give me that.
I think I want some of him, too.
Yeah, and I was watching Adam Shine, too, before us. He likes the receptions over. So at Caesars and Will Hill, McMillan 38.5, Otten 44.5. But I just think, based on those numbers, how bad they are giving up the run and the outside zone runs. That's all it's going to be that what Atlanta does?
No, I think it's going to be both guys, actually, Bijan and Algier. Jets are playing at the Patriots. Jets 7 total, 41-ish. I think there's a 41.5 out there, a couple of them anyway. Played again about a month ago. That's the first time, maybe one of the only times Rodgers looked like really, really good this year. He was 27 to 35 for 281 and 2 touchdowns. In that game, Hall and Allen combined for 109 yards rushing and a touchdown. But this is a totally different, Patriots offense at least, because it's Drake May now and no more Jacoby Brissett. But you have to lay 7 on the road. Again, here you go. Huge favorite this week in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Something we just did not have for the first 5 weeks of the year.
Well, I know we said it last week, but truly, if the Jets lose this game, shut it down, it's over. And then I don't know what you do. But the fact that, you favored Thursday against Houston. There's still a lot of winnable games coming up. You have a ton of talent. Let's see if the defense can actually show up and have some pride and get some stops. May is a game changer with the total, 4-point move, and also props for New England. Again, Henry over, way too low, 34.5. Douglas is 42.5. And then I think May's a little high, but because he had 18 in the second quarter, but he's 24.5 with the rushing yards.
Okay.
But then what do I do with the Jets' offense? Because Wilson's only 55.5. Is it more Adams gets involved now with another week? And apparently Adams, after the game, lit everybody up.
He did.
It's a pretty good article. He looked over and he knows Rodgers and they're buddies. So Rodgers is like, yeah, go ahead. I know you want to say something. He goes, this is unacceptable. He goes, I've been in bad situations on bad teams. This team has a lot of talent. And guys, we throw a dump off to Hall and he almost scores and there's no excitement on the sideline. This is unacceptable. So I thought, and everyone said, Rodgers called it the best speech in 20 years, he said. He's heard in a locker room. So maybe...
Wow, okay.
That's what he said. So if that can be a key
How about the onions on Adams?
Good for him.
He's there for 3 minutes.
I know.
Guys, I gotta tell you something. You ready?
Can I
Sit
get
down.
permission? Right. Paul Bovey, here I go.
Scorched earth,
so
right?
Adams just went scorched earth on everybody, and apparently he goes, yeah, he's right. This is a joke. And Rodgers said it was he was moved. But that's me talking. But he said it was the best rant speech he's ever heard in
right.
Going back. So maybe it starts something for the Jets. But that's where I'm at with some of the props, too, and I agree with the movement on the over.
Through 7 games, the Philadelphia Eagles have not scored a point in the first quarter. They are 0-6 against the first quarter spread. Only team in the NFL without a first quarter ATS cover this year. And their first quarter offense, 13 possessions, 59 plays, 175 yards. That's 2.97 yards per play. 5 3-and-outs, 3 turnovers, 0 points. Evan Abrams, great numbers there. The total in this game against the Bengals, 9.5 in the first quarter. Now it's the Bengals, their defense, suspect at best.
Improving.
Very good offense. Is this the game that you don't bet it?
Yeah, I did I wound up on the Bengals here.
Did you?
And here's another scenario where the locker room tantrum speech with the players has worked, at least defensively, for Cincinnati.
Win-lose up next. How about an anytime touchdown scorer cashing at higher than 20-1 odds last night? Pauly, details next.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan, with a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
Matt Brown and Mike Somich are on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets as the last batch of football games kick off.
What I took away from this is I want to bet against the Patriots when they're behind by 2 scores.
We were going, well, I wonder if this team's actually better than we thought. They're not. They just have enough talent.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet Saturdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network. last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Great action. Big tickets cashed again. Stafford, 4 touchdowns, 14-1. Robinson, 2 touchdowns. 100-1 at FanDuel, 75-1 at most shops. Oh, incredible. Oliver, first touchdown, 45-1. As high as 60, I guess. Anytime touchdown, 22-1. What's going on? That game was crazy.
Anytime.
Anytime touchdown, 22-1.
Tip of the cap to the fellas from the Sports Gambling Podcast. You can catch them here on VSiN as well on the weekends. They had it. They had Oliver first.
That's impressive. That is shocking. Well done. Anyone who had Sherfield Jr. anytime?
Well,
16-1. Did you have that?
I don't think they had him.
You have that? That's great. That was, apologies, that was bad. I like the Vikings. I like Tutu Atwell. Love Tutu Atwell over. And with the Puka nonsense, still, we had Tutu open for a 40-yard touchdown. It was underthrown, but he had 1 for 18. It was all Puka all the time. It's ridiculous. These injury reports, they got to clean this stuff up. Safety 10-1. Oh, we couldn't see it. What do you mean you can't see it? It's right in front of you. And then the reaction of the Rams player after the sack to put his hand in his head, or in his hands.
As soon as
he knew he made a boo-boo.
Of course, as soon as he made the sack, it was a split second later. He goes, I can't believe I did that. The referee, how about that person who was at the game filming right there behind the referee who's looking? And in fact, the referee reacts like this when Darnold goes down. His head moves with him to look at the ground, so he's watching the entire time.
Come on.
How do you not? Oh, man.
Terrible.
What a problem.
Yep. Both teams to score in the first quarter, plus 125. Jefferson, 100 yards, plus 185. Rams to win by 8 to 14 points, 8-1. And the Celtics from 12 up to 14. Also covered and beat Washington. Army, BYU, Indiana. Already gone over their win totals. Also, I found a spot. It's a professional outfit. They'll pick your dog up and take him to daycare for you. $25. And they'll drop him off. It's awesome. They have a little bed for him in the back of the van. Little blanket for him and everything. I used it this week. I found it. This is awesome.
It's not a scary-looking van?
No, it's not.
It's okay. So they show up right to your door.
Yep.
Knock, knock.
Yep.
We're here to pick up Jordan.
That's
right.
right.
Here you go. I'll see you later on today. They bring him back to your house.
Or whenever you want.
Wow.
That's right.
That's really
it's awesome.
good.
Yep. And I also checked it out. The hype is real. I'm 2 episodes in. The Penguin, very good. Colin Farrell, awesome. So the girl who plays Sophia Falcone, awesome. They tell me it's getting better, and episode 4 is the nuts. Great start with The Penguin on HBO. And Colin Farrell is phenomenal. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. Here we go, Mitch, with Ted Knight. Look, Caddyshack outfit. How good is this? Dressed up like they got the kid as the gopher.
As the gopher.
And then with the cart that moves with the hole, blowing it up and ready to go in the hole. Well, just be Bill Murray. We're all set. Great movie, Caddyshack. What a great, creative Halloween costume outfit.
That's really well done.
Awesome.
That's
Phenomenal.
good enough to win a bunch of prizes.
It is. And another highlight from the game last night, Al Michaels. His favorite restaurant down the street. 4,121 total times going to his favorite restaurant. He gets the same thing, and they know his name. He knows the waiter he has all the time. Never once has ordered veggies. Like Puka Nakua, who hates vegetables too. And there you go, how they cut the steak, and he's got his pasta, and he's ready to go. He gets his same spot. I wonder if he's like may rest in peace, our old buddy Dave Koken. If he would go there, if he goes 3-4 times a week. Dave Koken used to go to Ruth Chris and Mastriani's out in Summerlin. Go see my guy Pete. He'd go there every night and eat.
Give me the filet.
Right. Go to the same spot.
They would know. They would start the food as soon as he would walk in the door. They know that he was, what he was going to go with.
Yeah. No veggies. Get that away from
me.
me.
I love that Michaels jokes around about this.
He hates it. Yeah. And he points out Puka Nakua hates veggies as well. How about Ryan Hunter, our guy who works here? When he comes home, there's his dog Lola. Wants snacks and always excited to see him when he gets home. A good-looking pup. That's awesome. And then also the time when they came in and jump in his arms when he had the snacks when he returned from home as well after getting off on a long day from work. Excellent. Lose some. Georgia Southern and under. Old Dominion put it on them. Plus 2.5 to -1. No way. 55 down to 51.5. 47-19. Old Dominion. They're good. T-Wolves Kings under 227 down to 222. Good game. Couldn't see it. Blacked out. I have the package. Why are the Sacramento Kings blacked out?
Wow.
Devils.
I watched it. It was awesome. They had a huge lead third quarter. I don't know how they allowed the Wolves to get back into the game like that.
Sorry, you watch it on YouTube. I have the package. I couldn't watch the game. It was blacked out. Devils 140 up to 175. No good. Bad for the books. Mavs Spurs under 232 down to 227. Fell 229. OKC Denver over 224 up to 229. The Thunder buried them. Buried them in that game. That was excellent. How impressed were you with that performance?
By OKC?
Yes. Or are you concerned more about Denver?
No, I think it's a combination of both.
Yep.
I said yesterday I don't have Denver as a title contender this year. They cannot win the title. I don't think they have a chance to win the West.
No.
Unless other teams are, just completely crushed by injuries. But the OKC, I'm going to look around. Best number I can find if it's worth it to tie up some money. OKC, and it's chalk. Yeah. I don't care. OKC and Boston to meet in the finals.
Yeah.
They're the two best teams.
Yeah, my fault. That Denver game was a lose-some. If you ever get red-hot betting and think your picks are worth money, Juice Reel changing the way sports bettors buy and sell betting advice. You and everyone else links their betting accounts into Juice Reel. All your history loads into the free app. Everyone's bets imported straight from the books. You're as good as your betting data says you are. Get paid real money when other people unlock your picks. Fully transparent betting advice from real people only on Juice Reel. REEL. Grab it, get it, download it now. Get Juice Reel for free iPhone or Android.
I took a little bit of pizza money today on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Defensive Player of the Year. I found 300-1 on him. It's actually going to be his teammate who's going to win, but they already moved him down from like 12 or 14-1 to like 6-1.
You giving up on Wemby?
No, I'm not going to give up on him. I'm just going to tell you that if he stays healthy, Holmgren's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah?
Because they are going to be, either the first or the second best defensive team in the league?
Probably.
And that's the way they're going to look at the award.
All right.
So
I'll take some of that.
But the Spurs, they were fine last night until the second half, and then Clay went nuts.
Yeah, I lost.
Clay got you last night.
Yeah.
He had 6 threes, and he was dancing all over with the post-game interview.
Most threes for a Mav making his debut. Yeah.
He was, I listened to the entire thing. It was only like 90 seconds with Allie LaForce after the game. He was very complimentary to Luka, but at the same time, I felt like he was guarded because he didn't want to say too much, realizing he's like, I can't go over the top here because I just played with Steph Curry for like my entire career.
Yeah.
So what am I going to say about Luka? Because I'm going to sound like a complete idiot if I, go too far here.
Yep. Weekly props. Love
Here we
them.
go.
Can't get enough. Will a quarterback throw 5 touchdowns Sunday plus 265? Remember, Lamar did it Monday, though. Will a team score 50 points 5-1? Non-quarterback to throw a touchdown plus 265. Shutout 3-1.
What do you think happens? A shutout on Sunday or a shutout in the World Series?
Shutout Sunday. Bad offenses. World Series is only plus 160?
Yeah,
Someone's going with these offenses?
I would actually just say why not if the number was good enough, but plus 160 is not a good enough number to me.
Successful onside kick plus 320. Fat man touchdown plus 650. Safety $1.60. Overtime $2. I'll take the no. A lot of high point spreads. I'll take the no overtime. Plus 175. Caesars, Will Hill, and DraftKings. It's also National Tight End Day Sunday. Will a tight end have 100 yards in the early games? 3-1. There's 8 games.
I remember, I think it was this weekend last year when our buddy Weston, who's in the Friday Night Football Invitational, and if Weston, if you're listening, you can hit me up on this if I'm wrong. He put in, and he tweeted it out, like an anytime touchdown parlay with tight ends for National Tight End Weekend. And it was a huge number, and it hit.
Oh, God. All right. Something to follow again. Most points, Lions 7-1. Packers 9. Baltimore 10.
Packers 9 against that defense.
Houston 11. Denver's 12. Denver's 12. Could this be Young just keeps turning it over? And now no Johnson, no Thielen.
How about that?
How about the backup is going to be Jack Plummer?
Yes. Yes, Dalton's not going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Imagine if he gets hurt. Young.
Yep.
It goes from him to Plummer's worse.
KC 12, San Francisco 13. Low team, Raiders are the favorites 5-1. Saints are 6. Carolina's 6. Carolina scoring? I'd have to take the 6-1 on Carolina. Tennessee 8. And then you got high game, low game, which we'll get to coming up as well.
I don't mind
all
because
the props
Broncos
here.
got a damn good defense.
Yeah.
I don't mind Carolina. They're 6. I don't mind the Packers 9 for high-scoring team. All right, up next, we'll talk college football with Brett McMurphy from Action Network. Does a highly ranked team go down again this weekend? It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's that magical time of year, the sports equinox, when all 4 major sports are in action. VSiN is